welcome back to Lez Be Honest. I'm Darlia, and this is,
Karen, not from the internet.
and we're glad you all joined us today. So, our big question, Karen, that we've been getting is what?
Why? Where have we been? We took a little hiatus.
We did. So, that's the topic that we wanted to start with tonight is why it's been so long since we have filmed.
Hmm.
And you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, so since we filmed our last episode, I think it's been about 7 months. I have had weight loss surgery and I chose to get a gastric sleeve, which is about 80+% of my stomach cut out. And so it took a little while physically for me to get back to normal, but then the extended period of time is it's really taken a little while mentally to get back to normal. And as Karen and I went to dinner a few times throughout this period, I was telling her last time that I was ready for the physical aspect of the diet, but I wasn't really ready mentally. And although I've done many diets before, I think something as serious as weight loss surgery
Right.
affects you differently because you can't do really well for 10 days and then have a cheat day or go out on the weekends and eat and drink what you want and get back to it on Monday.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I know we've talked about this in the past several times, and I know both of us, working together for years and years, we've been struggling with our weight, and I know that you always went back and forth, and we've talked about this at dinner, but this is one thing I didn't ask you at dinner. Um, and you mentioned the mentality of it being, mentally prepared for it, and we'll get back into that in a minute. But what what made you decide? Because that's a huge decision.
mhm.
Um, what made you to finally decide to go with the gastric sleeve?
So it wasn't a quick decision, and I knew I wanted to do something different this time than I'd done in the past. And like I said, I think I've tried every weight loss and very good at yo yo dieting. And so the fear in the back of my head was, ooh, yo yo dieting and something as serious as gastric sleeve may not go together because of that could show that there's a different problem. However, talking to the surgeon for a while, he really explained that with a gastric sleeve, yo yo dieters are generally the best patients because it shows you have discipline, it shows you're willing to put in the work. It's just hard to stay committed lifelong. And then the
Right.
sleeve is like that little bit of extra help you need to keep you on course because you really can't overeat without a lot of physical pain or
Right.
etc. So also, and this is, there's a hormone in your stomach that it's called ghrelin, and it really produces a lot of hunger pains and makes you hungry. I never even knew this existed, but
I
with a
didn't either.
gastric sleeve, since they cut out, it's like 80 or maybe even more percent of your stomach, it gets rid of most of that hormone. And now it doesn't say you'll never be hungry again, but you get hangry.
Yeah, I do. Wait, I do.
You get hangry. I've been known to get hangry, and I don't really get hangry anymore. Like, I
Okay.
will get hungry because I can only eat so much at a time, and then that'll burn off, and then I'll be
Right.
hungry. But things you think like, oh, I'm starving, I'm going to eat X, Y, and Z. No, you may be hungry, and you're going to eat a small portion
Of X.
of X, and probably
Right.
protein first, and then other things. But the key thing I try to do every day is get 70 to 80 grams of protein, and then everything else is just kind of a plus if there's
Like
room.
a
And
filler.
yeah.
Right. All right. So I noticed that when we went to dinner one night, we this is all new to me too. So and we went to dinner one night
And before she
and
tells the story, let me just say, she may not look like it, but Karen really likes to eat. Like, She always has stayed pretty thin, and we can talk about her metabolism in a little bit, but this girl can eat.
I love
Okay.
to eat. All right, I do love to eat, and I've been known that when I'm with a partner or girlfriend or even my best friend, um, they keep stuff in their purses like muffins or some kind of like breakfast bar or something. And then when I start to get hangry, they just like, here. It's like that Snickers commercial, when you're not yourself.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so we went to dinner one night, and I was looking at all the appetizers, and I was like, oh yeah, let's get like a spinach queso dip or whatever, and some cauliflower. And you said, well, I can only have one. And I looked at you, and I know my face was frozen. Like it was
She
probably one of the
literally
only
looked like
times I've
she'd
ever
been
been.
shot. And I couldn't figure out why. She was like
I was like,
this wave of
no, I,
horror came over her face.
and then I was like, how are we how are we gonna only get one cauliflower? Like
She thought I could
I
eat
was like,
one
no,
cauliflower.
I seriously thought you were like, well, I can only eat, like you were so serious about it, like I can only eat one, and I'm like, one cauliflower like that? I don't want. So that kind of threw me off, but it was just one appetizer.
Yeah.
Not that we were going to share one cauliflower, or that I was going to get buffalo cauliflower and you going to eat one piece of it. I was like, well, then we'll just give you the biggest piece.
Yeah.
But so I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was that intense.
Yeah.
That you could only have one piece of cauliflower at a
Well,
time.
it's not quite as intensive as one piece of cauliflower, but it is. If you're going to get an appetizer,
It's going to
it's
be
going to be
an
one
appetizer,
appetizer,
right?
and then usually like a portion you would get in a restaurant. I can generally eat about half of that, and then
Right.
I get the other half to go or whatever. But the
Right.
thing that drives me crazy, and it's probably more of a social aspect of it, and it's you can't. Well, there's two things that drive me crazy, but the thing number one I was going to say is you're not supposed to eat and drink at the same time. And in a social circle, those two things just go hand in hand. That's what people do. You go to
Right.
dinner, you have drinks, you do it all together. You don't like,
And that's why you have two hands, so you can eat and drink at the same time.
yeah. But now it's like, I can have a drink. Okay, you have your drink, and you've got to wait a few minutes, and then you have your food, and then you can't have anything to drink for like another 30 minutes. And
Wow.
I was asking the nurse, like, a couple months ago, like, how long do I have to do this eating drinking thing? Because I really thought it was like, oh, after the first 6 months or after a year you can go
Right.
back. And she said, never. You will never be able to eat and drink again, because that's the number one reason that people do gain weight after gastric sleeve is they eat and drink at the same time.
Okay, I was going to say we have to clarify that. She said you can never eat and drink at the same time. You can never eat and drink again. But really, you can eat and you can drink again. You
You
just
just
can't
can't do
eat
it
and
at the
drink at the
same
same time.
exactly. It's the same time. And then the second thing that drives me crazy, and so anybody that's interested in having a gastric sleeve, I would still recommend it. Even well, I got so much to say. Okay, but let me stick on thing number two.
Okay.
No carbonated beverages ever. And I
Wow.
knew that going into it. Now that I knew was for
Right.
forever, and it just I was like, I'm not a big soda drinker. I don't really like beer. I didn't say, oh, I do like champagne.
Right.
And occasionally I really like a Diet Coke. Now I don't drink one
Right.
every day or probably not every week. But when you want one, that's something I've always been able to have no matter what diet you're doing. Pretty much you can have a Diet
Right.
Coke a week. But it's
Right.
like never ever again. And the worst is like if you're going to eat Mexican food, well, you don't want a big margarita because that's like, 500 calories and a bunch of sugar. And so I'm like, oh, I like a
See,
Diet
that's
Coke
where
with
that's where
Mexican.
we differ. That's where we differ. Because I do want a big margarita.
Well,
All right, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So my kind of default was always a Diet Coke with
Right.
Mexican, and now it's water.
Well, maybe you can get some margarita flavored water.
I'm looking into that because I am a big fan of Mio. You squeeze a little
Okay.
Mio in your water,
Yep.
and now I love Celsius. They're this like energy drink that you can get in different flavors, and um, they don't have any carbonation. You can get them with, you can get the sparkling kind with carbonation, but they have
Okay.
some without that. I've been able to enjoy those, and I really like those because it's like
All right.
water's water, but if you can
Right.
mix it up and give it a little flavor, then it's got a little more pizzazz and it's,
Right.
you know, fun.
Yep. Yeah.
She
All
doesn't
right.
believe water's fun. She was, yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I
Ooh,
mean,
it's fun. Ooh, flavored water. Woo,
yeah.
woo.
um, I'll just go along with it because I support you and your decision. And if you want to make water fun, then I will make water fun too.
Perfect.
Um,
It,
so now that this is why we've taken the hiatus is because you decided to have this surgery and you weren't prepared for it mentally, as much as you thought it would be. How are you doing now?
so now I'm doing great. And I think the mental thing is kind of came in two parts because I will say right after the surgery, and then there was a few months in there where I didn't feel good physically. And then that played an extra layer into the mental aspect of it. Um, I had weird stomach things and all kinds of, if I would eat even just a little in what I was supposed to eat, I would get sick. A multivitamin would make me sick. Like,
Wow.
so that was hard to deal with. I think I'm doing a lot better now because I've learned to replace things. Let me see how to. Okay, food has always been like my best friend for 53 years.
Right.
I mean,
Besides me.
besides you, and I've known you about
Right.
30, so I've been friends with food longer. So food's always there, whether you're dieting or not. It's you've had a great day, you want to eat. You've had a bad day, you want to eat. You're stressed out, you want to eat. But they kind of have always gone hand in hand, and now that that crutch is no longer available to me in the same degree that it used to be,
Right.
you have to replace with a different habit. You can't just not do something, and it kind of takes a while. And it can be as simple as I'm a little stressed out. Oh, I'm going to light a candle or take a bath.
Oh, I thought you were going to say light a joint. I was like, let's not. I was like, so I don't eat anymore. I just smoke a little bit more.
No, I
Okay, let's
wouldn't do
not.
that.
Okay.
Could you imagine the munchies? What would you do?
True. Good point. Good
Yeah.
point.
So, yeah, you just learn new behaviors. Now,
Got it.
you're kind of my idol on this. So, my next behavior, because I know that you're
Okay.
trying to lose a few pounds, and people are going
I
to look
am.
at you and be like, I can't believe that. Where she's trying to lose it. She can tell you exactly what's bothering her.
Yep. I don't like my stomach right now, and I don't like my thighs. Now, I'm not saying I need to lose a lot of weight, but I used to be in much better shape than I am now, and so I am actively trying to lose weight. Um, I did the divorce diet, and I lost a lot of weight. Um,
What's
but
the
then I
divorce
got
diet?
happy again. Well, when you split up from a partner for, after you get separated or divorced or something, and then you get stressed out and you don't want to eat. So I lost a lot of weight after I split from my first part. Well, one of my partners of 14 years. We talked about her last time.
Yep.
So I lost a lot of weight there, and I started looking good and feeling good, and I was really active. And but then I got happy again, and I started eating again and going out with my friends, and so I put on a couple more pounds. Plus, when you hit that certain age of, your 30s, let's just say that, and
I've
you hit
heard
that
about it.
early menopause at 30, you tend to gain a little stomach weight, so I'm trying to work that off. So I am trying to lose some weight.
So, and I know one of these answers because you're active, but I have to ask because as much as you like to eat and have always liked to eat, how do you stay relatively thin? minus this little weight that you're trying to get off right now?
I I owe it to genetics because I take after my dad's side of the family, and they had very good metabolism. Always had good metabolism. And then I always try to be active. Like I did several century rides, which is a 100-mile bike ride. I've done several of those. I used to teach spin class for 8 years, and I'm well into hiking, and I'm working out every day. So I think between the metabolism luck and the working out and forcing myself to do yoga, um, do some stretches every morning, and working out. And now I'm being held accountable with my workouts because uh, a very close friend and I are having this accountability thing where if we don't work out one day, then we put $10 in the jar. And so that's holding me accountable. And I think that's one of the things that you and I've talked about at dinner is having someone to help you be accountable for your actions.
Right.
So, if you only want to eat one cauliflower, then I will hold you accountable to that and make sure you only eat one cauliflower.
Well, I do need to be more physically active. So that's next
Yep.
on my list of things is really starting to get more exercise. But I freaking hate exercise. I hate everything about it. Like, and I just, it, it's not fun to me. Like, you make it fun. You could have
I
fun,
love it.
do the grapevine on the treadmill and all these things. And I'm going
I
to
can't
fall on
do
my
that.
face if I try to do that. But I do like to dance. So I guess I need to find like a Zumba or a jazzercise or some of those
Yeah.
classes again. I'm not going to pay you $10 if I don't work out every day because I've done the math. And I'm like, boy, I could really, that's $70 a week times, not that I'm not planning on ever working out, but that's expensive, folks.
That is. Well, you know what? I'm held accountable. So,
Oh
and
yeah,
I
you are
because
help.
of that, I've only paid one time so far. So, but we haven't been doing it that long. So,
Is it every day you have to do it, or is it like 3 times a week?
no, right now, I don't even know. I think it's every day. I think
I'm just
maybe we
working
take
out
some.
in case.
I'm just working out because I don't want to pay anybody any money. I think we take Sundays off, but that's what I did. But that's not the day I paid. I traveled one day last week, and it was a long day. Um, I traveled a couple days last week, but the one day, when you said make it fun, I was at the hotel. It was a long travel day. I got back to the hotel from the job site, and I haven't been on a treadmill in probably 3 years, maybe 2 years. I'd say 2 years, and then because I stopped going to the gym when at COVID, and then I started working out at home. So I was working out, just not on the treadmill. So I went to the treadmill at the hotel for the first time. I haven't ran either. I don't like running. I'm like you. I'm like running is stupid. And unless I'm chasing the ice cream truck, then I'll run. And then so I got on the treadmill, and my thing is you have to have good music. You have
Have
to have
to.
good music. And I have some certain songs that I work out to that just really pump me up. And so when I went to the hotel room, I mean the hotel gym, I got on and I just started walking at first, just stretching and everything. I put them on my music, and I was the only one in there. And I started dancing, and it was like choreography. It wasn't just running, it was a choreography on the treadmill. And I always do that on the treadmill because it makes it easier and it makes it time go by faster. Well, before you know it, this guy, I guess, unbeknownst to me, because the treadmill's facing this way, well, this is a whole wall of windows, and it was facing the pool. And this guy comes up afterwards and he waves to me in the window, and I'm just like, keep going. And he comes in, and I took out my earbuds, and he's like, are you like on crack or something? Because we're watching you out there. And do you like choreography or something? And I'm like, no, I'm just listening to really good music. Ended up running about 3.5 or 4 miles. And that's the first time I've ran in like I said, 2 years. So I think if you get the right music and you're in the right frame of mind, and you've got this, once you make it a habit, I think you'll be able to do it with no problem at all.
What I would love to see is this choreography on the treadmill because I'm wondering if what she's seeing in her head,
It's
full
not.
blown 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, if that's like looking anything remotely like what she's actually doing, because for somebody to come from the pool just to say, "Are you on crack?"
I can tell you. Do you know when you go on TikTok or something like that, and you can say, "Hey, what? How I think I look when I'm in a bathing suit, and how I actually look when I'm in a bathing suit. Those are two totally different things." Well, I feel like when I'm on the treadmill alone in a gym, that I look like you know, Taylor Swift or something doing some great choreography. But what I really look like, obviously, is some crackhead running down the down the street.
Now, it's
It's not pretty, but it's fun for me. So
and I'm sitting here trying to think, is Taylor Swift really known for that fine choreography? Like,
okay, then J Lo, J Lo. Let's say J Lo.
I mean, okay, we'll go with J Lo. Maybe Taylor Swift. I don't
Okay.
know. I just see her standing
No,
there,
I
and
was just trying to think of someone. I don't know.
okay. So,
Maybe.
but at least it's fun, and I know you
I
used,
just like to have fun. Yes.
yeah, you used to teach spin class.
Yes.
Do you miss
Yep.
that?
For 8 years. No. I don't because one, it was I taught it at 5:45 in the
Yeah,
morning.
that's ridiculous. Nobody should start anything at 5:45 in the morning. Maybe a pot of
So
coffee, maybe.
but I would have to get up early, and then I'd have to be at the gym at 5:30, set up, get the music ready. But it took a lot of time because I would make my own playlist, and I would make a different playlist for every
Of
class.
course you
And
would.
so and every playlist would have a theme. So whatever was going on in the world, I would make songs that fit that theme. And so I'd play that playlist, and I'd be up on the bike, and I'd be, dancing and singing as I'm riding. And I'd have trivia questions, whatever it was, and I'd have little prizes for them. And that way it kept the members really active and interested in coming. They would text me and say, "Hey, what theme are we having tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, I can't tell you because whoever guessed the theme of the playlist got to keep the CD." So it was very time consuming for me, but it was fun. It was a good time. I enjoyed it while it lasted, but no, I do not miss it now.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe at a different time of day, but that might be a class I would show up for if we're going to have a theme and there's going to be different
Right.
music and,
Yeah.
I'd get a possible CD.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we've talked a lot about what I've been up to since we filmed last.
Yep.
So you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to?
Nope.
Not at all.
Not at all. No. No. I've been working out a lot, and I'm going to avoid the question the answer that you're looking for. Um, uh, I've been working out. I've been happier probably than I've ever been. Work is very stressful, but the workout helps that too. That's another thing. Talk about different things to do after work if you're having a stressful day or something. Exercise really does work for that. So, is there anything specific you wanted to ask me about, or should we just skip over that?
Um, yeah, I'm going to go right
Okay.
there a little bit
All
and
right.
I'll try to guard myself as much as I can, but I'm sure people want to know about the applications that we were taking to date Karen. And I
Yeah.
will say, not everybody follows the rules.
That's a red flag,
So,
right?
some people may want to date Karen. They don't want to turn in the applications. They want to go straight to the source.
That did happen.
And, it's just like if you're wanting to get on an airplane, sometimes you have to go through security. These security checks are put here for a reason. Um, and I guess that's all I'm going to
Um,
say about that. But our tactic worked basically. It's just
yes,
people
it
didn't
did.
follow the rules. So if we ever do that again, we're going to have to be a little more stringent on the rules.
Well, okay, yes, we could be more stringent on the rules. And yes, I was dating someone for a while who did not turn in an application. Um, but that's over now. And I have to say, I am happier than I've ever been. I'm happier than I've been in a long time, which I've been through some really rough stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm really happy, and I think it's weird that the timing of both of our little hiatuses, I think, and we've talked about this. We've really done a lot of different soul searching and um, mentally, physically, like we've both been on this track that we've always been trying to help ourselves get better and be better. And the last couple of podcasts we did, we helped other people, and I think that's why we decided to come back when we did, is because you had some things to get through, I had some things to get through, and I think this will be a good start for us to keep going with, maybe just being a everyday normal people who can talk about these things, and maybe like we did last time, we helped one person, maybe we could help one more person.
Yeah, and really, that's what it's all about. And I agree that something I try to do every day is be better than myself yesterday,
Yep.
and or work on something and come a little bit better on that. Like I love to learn different things. Um, I recently have been a certified life purpose coach. Bet you didn't know that.
Awesome. Yep. Yep.
But just did
That's
that on the
awesome.
side, like, I'm not going to quit my job and become a life coach or anything, but it's just like little nuggets that I was interested in. And so
Yep.
you're kind of on the same trajectory of always trying to get better and do better. And so I think that we took some time off when we probably should have. And now that we're
Yep.
back, it's like just thinking back, and a couple of those people we helped, that was some pretty serious situations. So
Yep.
if we could just help one more person at somewhere along the line. So, you know, we plan to be back on a more regular basis, at least
Right.
weekly, touching base, talking about different topics. We've got a whole
Yep.
list of stuff to cover. But I
Yep.
will say, if you're struggling with weight, you're thinking about weight loss surgery or anything, reach out to me. You can reach me on Darlia's Dreams at Gmail. I have an Instagram, Facebook, etc. And Karen, if somebody wants to get in touch with you and be how can I be accountable for working out, and how can I get up at 5:45 and split a piece of
Let's not
cauliflower?
push it. I don't
Yeah,
necessarily get up at 5:45 anymore. I do get up early though. But yeah, if you wanna hit me up on Facebook, last name is Kurtz, Kurtz, and then hit me up on Facebook and just ask for some suggestions or some programs that might help you, or how you can get into the Y, or there's a walking program that the Today Show does. It's called Start Walking. Hit me up. I'll be more than happy to talk to you, and you can shoot me text messages, and I can help you be accountable for your stuff.
great.
Absolutely.
All right. So, yeah, and also I was just thinking if there's any topics that you all want
Yes.
us to
Yep.
cover, if we know about them or know people that do, we could bring them on the show too, and
Yep.
try to help out in any way we can.
Yep. Always try and be better.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And guess what,
Yes.
Karen? It's a wrap.